You're live.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all to the Lebanon Voice Candidates Forum night. I'd like to start off by having everybody recite together the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Candidates Forum, and I think we should all first start off by giving a nice round of applause to our candidates up here tonight that are putting themselves out for us to talk to. The forum will consist of 4 rounds. The first round will be a 2-minute introductory round. The candidates are numbered 1 through 5, and we'll start off with Roby for the first round, since he drew number 1. That'll be a 2-minute round of introduction, followed by a second 2-minute round in which the candidates can either expound on what they said in their introduction, or they can address other remarks that may have been made. The third round will consist of questions that I have and will ask that I have gotten from the basket that were given by the audience. Those questions will be, each person will be asked 1 question, starting with whoever we're up to at that point. That would be the 3rd round, so at that point we'd be with Chip. And they'll be asked that question. That will be a 1-minute response, followed by, sequentially, the other 4 candidates with their response to that same question. 5 questions of audience questions. And the final round will be a closing statement. I would ask all the candidates to address their remarks to the audience. And I believe we are ready to start. When there are 15 seconds left on the first 2 rounds, I will raise my hand and then bring it down, and then the last 5 seconds I'll just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I believe that's it. Yeah. And of course, the candidates don't have to talk for 2 minutes. We won't make them do that, but if they want to, they can. So without further ado, I think we can start now. And Roby, you're up. And I would ask all the candidates to use the microphone.
Good evening, people. Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Roby Masters. I've been in this town all my life, except for 5 years. So that's going to leave you people guessing how old I am. I own my own businesses. I had a two-way radio business for years. It just got too busy to do. I just could not service my customers the way it should have been done. I own my own trucking company. And in turn, due to the economy, I had to give it up. I was a diesel mechanic for 25 years, working to the point where I was service manager for a trucking company. I had 22 trucks and 65 trailers. So in that, I didn't have a never-ending amount of money I could spend. I was budgeted each month for what that equipment had to cost. It's a tough deal when you spend $135,000 on tires alone. It's really a tough deal. Right now, I drive truck for a gentleman out of South Berwick. I have a very, very flexible work schedule. It's phenomenal. It's just hard to believe that he puts up with some of the crap. Okay, and before we go any further here tonight, I want to take a moment to thank Karen, Ben, Jeanette, and all involved into the hard work that they have just put into this situation. It's a great town. It can be better. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Karina Cole, and I would like your vote for selectman on March 11th. I'm running for selectman because I love Lebanon. I've lived here for over 30 years, and I wanted to continue to be a place my children will always want to call home. I am one who does not like to be in the spotlight, but enjoy being involved in various projects. I've been involved in the community over the years in many ways. When I see a problem, I work to fix it, or at least find someone who can. Again and again, I hear you have to be a selectman to initiate that when I'm trying to solve some problem. So I figured, why not try to become one? And recently, I've been elected to be the chairman of the current comprehensive planning committee. Not having a comprehensive plan and lacking zoning has cost Lebanon millions of dollars. Such potential business development opportunities, an example being Shaw's Distribution Center that was looking at property on 202 but decided to go elsewhere. Another example of lost opportunity was $6 million in grants that was earmarked for repairs of churches in historical zones, which went to other towns. I initiated a petition referendum last year that required the town of Lebanon to videotape meetings and make them accessible on the town website, allowing citizens who cannot participate in regularly scheduled meetings to keep current with what is happening in town. It may go a long ways in helping to keep our government transparent and accountable, which seems to be a really important issue these days. A committee has recently been set up to help put this in place, and we hope to have regular recordings in place soon. I'm very interested in improving the business culture here in Lebanon. I've owned my own marketing and promotional products business since 2005. And if you vote for me, I can assure you that I'll have the time and energy to devote to this position. Thank you.
Welcome. Thought I'd first give you a little bit of my background information. My lovely wife is here today. I've been married for 25 plus years. 2 kids, 2 dogs, a cat, and I don't want to go any further. So lived here in Lebanon for 20 plus years. Prior to moving here, I was in the Navy, active duty submarines, for 10 years. Moving here, I was employed with Merrill Lynch in Portland, Maine. I'm currently now employed with Ameriprise Financial as a financial advisor. I have a Bachelor's of Science degree in finance. I am a member of the American Legion here in town. I enjoy playing squash, woodworking, gardening, beekeeping. We got the background out of the way. I'm running because I think I can make a difference. I want to make a difference and I want to help. I don't have any conflicts. The one conflict I have is I'm a member of the budget committee, of which I will step down if I'm elected. I can only hope that others that are running will step down from their positions within the town if they're elected. I think conflicts of interest is a big issue here in town, and it's got us into some issues and some problems. And I hope that I can help resolve that if I get elected. This town has a $3 million budget. That's without the school. Probably the school adds another $3 million or so. We can't wing it anymore. We need structure. We need policies. We need procedures in place. We've more or less been winging it for a while. Ben has done a tremendous job starting although he's been kind of busy putting out some forest fires. But I think the momentum is in the right place. Bringing in the new treasurer is a great start. So I think we're on the road, the right road going forward, and I would like to continue that momentum. Thank you. And I ask for your vote. Did I forget to say my name? Yeah. People that know me, I go by Chip Harlow. I go by Chip Harlow. My official name is Richard Harlow. Sorry.
Well, I think everybody here knows me. My name is Royce Heath, and I've lived around town all my life. I've worked for the town the last few years, off and on, either with the road crew and now at the present time I'm working at the transfer station. I do know a few of the procedures around town and such. I also had my own businesses, a couple of them, and I look forward to working with the folks in this town. Most of them I've lived here with all my life, and that includes the people in the office, and most of all the people, all you people that vote. I'm going to keep this one short. I'm going to just hand it over to the next guy. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Paul Filbert. Thank you for coming this evening. Thank you for hosting this, Mr. Thorpe. As you know, I live just down the road in 202. I've been there all my life, sort of like these two gentlemen. I'm married, 2 children. One was here this evening to watch his father stumble through this. Attended Lebanon Elementary School. Seems kind of me being in this auditorium again. Graduated from Noble High School in '71. I worked part-time for the town while I was in high school and gave me a chance to get a taste of what it's like to be on the road crew during the wintertime, shoveling sand out of the back of the trucks as they prepared the roads for traffic. It's a little bit different than what you guys do now. After I graduated from high school, I spent 5 years working in the production and inventory control aspect of the work. In '77, I went to the shipyard as an apprentice, pipe fitter apprentice. Went 10 years into the pipe fitting trade, then I went into the training instructor portion of the program, and I spent the next 20 years in that. As an instructor, I had to work with time management as well as working with budgets. You have to have a limited amount of money if you work for the government. And I retired in 2010. I want to see the town continue to grow. It's served me very well in my lifetime. I can't complain about the opportunities I've had. I've liked what I've been able to do in my home, and I'd like to see that continue on. But I've seen struggles in the past, and I see we have a struggle now with the trust and relationship between the townspeople and the selectmen. And I'd like to work on that to increase that and get that trust back. And that would be my goal while I'm being service to you.
Thank you very much. Now we're ready for round 2. This is when the candidates can talk a little bit, amplify a little bit more about what their goals are for their first term, any other subjects that may have come up, and we'll start off with Corinna Cole, 2-minute talk time.
Okay. As I had said before, I'm very interested in improving the business culture here in Lebanon, as I run my own business for marketing and promotions. And I had actually once started a chapter of a networking business, Showcase Business Networking, here in Lebanon in 2011. It ran for almost 2 years. And right now I'm in the process of gathering information to create a business directory and perhaps start another networking group here in the future. And another one of my interests is last year I completed the Master Gardener program through the University of University of Maine, and hopefully get some more involvement here, such as the Kids Can Grow program, the Harvest for the Hungry, and perhaps interest in starting a community garden here in Lebanon. Let's see, and actually one of the projects I had done previously was a lot of the problems we have been experiencing in town recently. I think it might be time to revisit the issue of having a town manager. The people in our town did see the value in this once, and a referendum was passed, only to be turned down the next year when the selectmen at the time, who did not really support having a town manager, proposed an unreasonably high salary and also an option to override that change in government without even giving it a chance. Really think this is an important issue in town, because a lot of the things that have happened lately may not have been slipped through the cracks if you had had that one consistent person there every day. So, and let's see. Okay. And also it might help a lot with the conflicts and the structure in this town if we revisit that issue. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chip Harlow. There we go.
That was last round.
I'm going to keep this quick. A couple of goals. Keep taxes low. I'm all in favor of that. I pay taxes with everyone else. You do that through efficiencies. Find ways to save. You can only save so much. There is inflation. Prices go up. But you can try to do your best to find ways to save. So I strive to try to keep our taxes as low as possible. But ultimately, it's not me. It's all of you who vote. You're the ones who vote for spending. It's your town. You can spend as much money as you want. You can spend as little as you want. It's your vote. That's not for me to say what all of you want. I have my own vote when I cast my vote. But when it comes to spending money, it's the people that decide that, not the selectmen. Perfect example is you have the old town hall. Do we spend money on that? Do we don't? Sore issue because of what happened. One of the reasons it's a sore issue is another one of my goals. Communications. This town tends to be what they call a bedroom community. A lot of us work elsewhere. I wish I could work in town. Not a lot of businesses. I work elsewhere. A lot of people do. They don't tend to hear things. There's no local paper. Harrison does his best. But again, there's a huge vacuum of communications on what's going on. Ben had a meeting about a month ago. Great start. I don't know when the last time we ever had one of those kind of meetings. Helps communications. I want to continue that so that there's not a vacuum and that the communication is not run by the rumor mill. We all know the town has a great rumor mill. Last thing, a lot of stuff's happened in the past. Let's try to keep it positive and let's look forward and not worry about the past. Fix the problems, go forward.
I think we ought to keep in mind the old people in town. Seems like we're getting a lot more of them. We're all part of the generation. Regardless of what else goes on, those folks built this town. And I think, to me, that is probably the most important thing here. That's the end of my conversation for now.
He's quick. As I mentioned before, I'd like to make some changes in helping the selectmen get their credibility back. They're on the right track right now. You mentioned about the public forum. I think that was a great opportunity to talk openly about some things that are happening. But I'd also like to make sure that we still abide by the regulations that were set up by our forefathers when they first started this town. There's a lot of rules and ordinances out there. Some of them are getting a little dated. We found that on the planning board just recently. You have to be looked at and reviewed a little bit and updated. But they're there, and they're followed for a reason, because there was problems in the past, and we had to correct that one way or another. Listening to each resident of the town to make a wise decision when there's a problem that comes up. There's always more than one story or one side to it. More than one side to any story. We need to look at those and be careful when we make our decisions. We have a lot of excellent committees out there right now. You mentioned the comprehensive committee. There is the planning board, there's the conservation board, and other ones out there. They're doing a lot of study, a lot of volunteer work goes on. We need to see what they have to offer us and to listen to those. In the past, we always had a chance, like a town meeting, long before the days of the ballot. Royce doesn't remember that. The town meetings might be long, but we had a chance to talk about the referendums. If there was an issue or something that wasn't like the way we wanted it, we could change it at the town meeting and then pass it through. With the new ballot system, we can't do that. We need those public forums prior to putting this stuff on the ballots so we can have a chance to voice our opinions, make our decisions, and make any changes that need to be done. Chip mentioned the taxes, keeping them down. I thoroughly agree with that. As citizens, we need to decide what we actually need to get accomplished and what's actually the luxury item. Most of you coming over here this afternoon, or this evening, notice the roads are getting a little rough. You might want to look at that this spring. For those that are looking at the town hall, that's kind of like a luxury item that we have the extra money. It'd be a way to work on that, but it might be something we have to do in the future. Right. Thank you.
Last year I stood here and I introduced what they call a recall ordinance. A lot of people are not aware of it. Why? So without even being in office, that's where I started. Another thing that should be done in this town is a lot more things should go out to bid in this town. The more we get in the mix, the better off we're going to be. Last year we had 5 bidders on paving in this town. The year before that we had 2. I called 7 different outfits. It turned out to get 5. There's a lot of good committees, like Paul had just mentioned. They're hard-working committees. It's just, we got to return the trust and the honesty of this office back to you people. You people are the ones that are paying the bills. And how many times has something been voted in by you people, and it just come to light that the selectmen did not, the previous board, did not go by voters' rule. They did as they pleased. In 2010, we voted in the enterprise account. No town money to be used. That's wrote right in the article. Self-funded. And what happens? They turn around and here we are in the hole. The trust and honesty's got to be returned. Ben and Karen, Jeanette, they have done a phenomenal job. And I applaud them. Thank you, Harrison.
Thank you, everybody. Now we'll go on to round 3. I have some questions that were put in the box by the audience members, and we will start that round 3 off with Chip. Now, while he's getting up here, let me just tell you that after Chip has his minute on the question, and then Royce and everybody else going around the table will each have 1 minute, up to 1 minute, to talk about the same question, add their thoughts.
In the first question.
Yes, I support that.
What should be done with the old town hall?
Again, it's actually a great question. What do I think? You can have my personal opinion. I think we ought to do something about it rather than let it sit there and rot. But it's not my decision. It's your decision. Do you have a vision for it? What do you want it to be? Do you want it to sit there and be an eyesore the way it is now? Or do you want to do something? I think we ought to do something. Next question. What's it going to cost? Good question. I don't know. All I know is we ought to figure out how much are we willing to spend in an individual year. $25,000, okay? It's going to cost $75,000 to do, well then it's going to take 3 years to fix it. I don't know. You know, I mean, come up with a number that we're willing to spend, if we're willing to spend anything. But again, it's everybody here that has to vote on it. I made a recommendation in Ben's meeting that we ought to have some sort of like a straw poll at the election on the 11th, so we can get people's opinions. So it's your vote. It's not really my vote.
If you don't mind, I'm not even going to get up. I agree with Mr. Howell 100% here.
That's fine.
I'm not going to waste everybody's time.
Okay.
I have to agree with what Mr. Howell said, and as I mentioned earlier, we have to decide what's a luxury item and what's a necessity. And I look at the town hall right now, it's possibly as just a luxury item. We need to work with the necessities first. One of the things that was brought up also at that meeting, the public forum, was the forming of the committee to take a look and get a real cost factor, what it's going to cost to put that together, and what the possible uses are going to be, something to work for in the future.
Okay. Thank you. I agree.
I agree with both of them. This whole thing was a deception to start with. Everybody was on the impression that that building with the $70,000 was going to be usable. It's not. Now we're faced with what to do with it. And we're also faced with other financial burdens. So now we've got to set our priorities. What do? Do we close it up, make it secure so it can't be damaged, and move on, pay our back bills? Or do you put it to you people? What to do? It's going to take some money. But can we afford it? Can the taxes afford it? We know we're going to lose some state revenue money. We don't know how much, but thank you.
I actually think it's a great building and would love to see a committee formed on this and maybe do it in stages with the immediate securing the building, repairing the plaster, and actually a long-term goal would be in the comprehensive plan, which is, part of it is looking at our buildings and our expenses into the future as part of the comprehensive plan. And if it had been done earlier, this actually might not have happened. And really would love to see it as a meeting space and set up to eventually record our meetings. It's a great meeting space if and could be utilized.
right here? The old?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I clarified, which town hall you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tear down that. And, so that ends
The first round of questions from the audience, and now Royce, you're up.
And your question is, what would you do to unite the community of Lebanon?
That's a good question. What would I do to unite the community of Lebanon? Well, I didn't know we were ununited to start with. We get upset, we all come out and voice our opinions. If we care enough about an issue, we vote. I guess, how about letting the voters just speak for themselves? I think that's what we should do. Thank you. You handled that well. Thank you.
I guess the best way I can answer this one is to say that more of those public forums like we just had, we've been the Karen chance to get together, talk out the issues in town, rather than let them just sit and fester as we have done in the past. And as a group, work together. I just started on the planning board as an alternate member, and just learning through what the rules and regulations are from the state, the local area, and getting used to working with people. It's been very rewarding. I think that it helped to all of us as a town. We had a chance just to work together and have a common goal.
Thank you.
Well, per se, unite this town, this is a good start right here. Because this shows me that people are interested in what is going on. We just couldn't continue it. Ben and Karen did a great job that Saturday. I'm very, very pleased with that. Got more information out of that than we have for the last 10 years. Is being upfront and honest with the people. But people's got to be involved. Bottom line, we've got to make things that the people can be involved in to take a care and care about their community. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I have to agree with these gentlemen. The open meeting that Ben had done was fantastic. The constituent days that Karen holds on Saturdays, she tries to do it once a month, are really, really great. And further, to continue the videotaping meetings, so that people know what's going on if they're not able to do the meetings. And the community days, we were throwing that around too. The community days that the rescue squad does is fantastic. I'm not sure if they're going to continue that, but perhaps another committee can start that. And my big thing is to have I would think, I don't know how it would be funded or not, but to do a volunteer appreciation day where people that do volunteer for the town can all be appreciated equally, whether they're on the fire, the rescue, the planning boards, or any of the other committees. Thank you.
I don't know about you, but politics doesn't tend to unite. But partying and having fun does. So, but again, this is your community. So, when you do some big family-friendly festival, you know what I'm saying, with kids, the firemen do a chili cook-off with somebody, I don't know. Your imagination, just unleash your imagination, but that's what I think will get the community together. But, it's not us again, it's the community. You've got to want it. Because if we put something together and nobody shows up, what happens? What are you guys wasting our money for? The community's got to want it. But I think the selectmen ought to be there to fully support and to help promote it. And again, communications will do that. But let's keep the politics out of it and keep it to fun.
Okay, and now our third round of audience questions starts with Mr. Hilbert. And the question is, we talked a little bit about Community Day and friends and parents meeting here Saturdays ago. But what else could you do? Communication does seem to be a problem in the town. And how else could you reach out to ordinary citizens to let them know how they can input into government?
Wow. Did you use up your minute just asking me that question?
Show us the light.
Well, let's just say there's been some drastic improvements over the last few years. Just by going on the website, finding out that there's selectmen meetings each week, or when the time frames are. Mr. Harris's Lebanon Voice, articles in some of the papers that we've been getting lately, for the last few years, I should say. It's been a big help. But there is still a lack of communication with things getting around town. And a real quick, easy fix to that is hard for me to come up with right now. I would have to really look at devices that are out there that everybody uses, and what would be a very good format. To me, just to try to bring it off the top of my head would not be doing justice right now.
Thank you.
Communications is a big factor. You know, you can go down to the store or wherever, and this one's saying this, and that one's saying that. But there is no straight facts. Paul did make a good fact that you can go on the website and you can look at the meetings coming up. It has been better in recent about getting the minutes of a meeting in case you can't make it. The videotaping is fine. Nothing against the videotaping. They had a great idea last year with MetroCast. But in that whole situation, it was only going to benefit or service a number of people that is fine with MetroCast. I don't have MetroCast. I have Dish. I was off. Then you got to wait to get it downloaded into the computer and go from there and look at it off there. Harrison's done a great job keeping people's eyes, and I thank him for that.
As you all have, maybe, I don't know if you all have, but seen the value of the videotape meetings that have been available lately, and continue expanding on that, and perhaps even get them eventually, the committee that I'm on for the videotape meetings would like to really look down in the future and have them broadcast on MetroCast as well as available on the town website. And also think a quarterly newsletter for the selectmen would be fabulous. And even perhaps getting the yearly report before we vote in June would also be a great asset to everybody when they're getting ready to vote. Thank
you. Communications is one of my kind of big topics. I guess certainly videotaping meetings, trying to get some procedures around to do it more consistently. That way I don't have to do it anymore. Because I've been doing a lot of it, and I've been doing a lot of it because you don't get any more of that he said, she said. You can see it for yourself. So that's important. Meeting minutes are important. Newsletters, yeah, do they cost money to get them out to everybody? Yeah. Informational meeting, they don't cost money per se, other than the time to do them. So again, more informational meetings. You get this town running smooth, you're not going to need a lot of that. So there's at times you do need them, at other times you may not need much.
Isn't that what we need? Just to feel like we know each other in this town still? All these meetings that we have, a lot of people can't get to them a lot of times because they're working. Something's going on with the family. It is a problem. But maybe we ought to just stick with what we've got and work on it just a little bit harder. Let people know as far ahead as possible for these meetings. Not that week, or not 2 weeks even. If it's possible, let them know a month ahead, or be able to plan on things. That's it for me.
All right, and now the fourth round of audience questions starts with, I think, Roby.
I'll give him a good one.
I mean, marbles in the bag, true or false?
Roby, do you think it is a conflict for a selectman to also be a town employee?
I looked at the state statute. I got the state statute. There's a lot of the things that, as a selectman, they cannot hold. As a town employee, I feel myself personally, no. They should not hold two positions. One position only. I mean, I went over this and been over this. I got the state statute there right from the Maine Law Library, and I looked into it. There's some of them that is by the law for them. Just don't happen. And myself personally, as far as this town, there's been too much conflict to start with. Now you start putting two departments, the heads of two departments, or a member of two departments. Now you got two departments with conflict. Thank you.
No, I do not believe in that you should hold more than multiple positions. If you're a selectman, that should be your main focus.
100% absolutely no.
Well, I know I got to get up here on this one because it could happen. Truth of the matter is, this selectman's job that we're all in the running for here pays what, $12 an hour? Well, if we only spend a few hours a week here, that isn't very much of a paycheck. The job at the dump, I'm sorry, transfer station, that's $13 and some change an hour. If you work 2.5 days, that's not a full week's pay. Kind of hard to get a full week's pay out there these days. So I'm going to say yes, I'm in favor of holding more than one position, provided that one doesn't really conflict with the other.
I'll have to agree with the first four, to have two positions in the same town, one overlooking the other, it leads to potential conflict and potential doubt on the part of the taxpayer. So I would say these have to be separate.
All right, that concludes our fourth question. The final question of the audience participation round is, after you're elected into office, and you've been kissed by your spouse or whatever, child, and you've gotten some congratulations, what's the first thing of substance that you would do officially as selectman?
That's a tough one. meet with the other two selectmen to find out what's really going on. So many things going on right now that we as the public aren't really privy to. So it's tough to say what the most important things would be. But right now, I guess it's to make sure the budgets are going smoothly and the new ballot and just hopefully be able to be integrated well with the other two selectmen, which they're doing a great job, and maybe take some of the burden off of them.
My guess is that the first thing of substance is not going to be determined by me. It'll probably be determined by the other two selectmen that have been way overworked, basically covering the other selectmen being gone, not to mention the fires they've had. So it's probably like a stack this big that they're waiting to get rid of. So I'm not sure what they're looking to get rid of, but trust me, I bet you there's a huge stack. Getting a thumbs up back there. So I'm not sure what substance that is, but it's probably taking some of the workload off of them. And beyond that, communications. I'd like to really try to help communications. I think that's key.
Thank you.
As simply as I can put it, sit down and go to work. That's it.
Two areas I can think of right now I'd like to get my hands into. One, I would love to go through all the old ordinances that the town has, just to see what the rules and guidelines have been, and see if the history behind that. And secondly, I've kind of cheated for the last couple of weeks. I've kind of snuck in and sat in on the selectmen's meetings and just listened to the chatter between Ben and Karen. And one of the things that keeps popping up is lack of an inventory of what the materials are that we own as a town and where they are, and who's controlling that, or are they working, or is it trash? And part of my background has been in inventory control, and it's kind of tickled my theory and interest in that area. I kind of like to get my hands into that. But just judging what I was hearing tonight, that's going to be a big project.
Thank you. I'll just reiterate on some of the things that Dave said. First of all, what I would do, my biggest thing, is send a great big thank you out to the voters of this town. Next, you've got to sit down, and you've got to go over it with the other two. They've been involved in it. You've got to be brought up to speed. You're not going to understand everything that's going on in a short period of time. But they need some burden taken off them. They have been worked phenomenally through this. And it's just not fair that they had to face this. All this hard, heavy work is just not there. It should not have happened. This work is too much for two people, and it's plenty for three people. I would sit down with them, have a serious meeting, and get brought up to speed. Thank you.
Thank you all. And that concludes the audience questions participation round. And now we have the final round, the summation. You can go up to 3 minutes. You may feel like you've covered everything, but I can't. I mean, there must be 3 minutes of talking, most of you guys. But if you want to stop early, we can all make American Idol in about 10 minutes. It's all up to you. I'll stay as long as you want to. You like to watch the last 5 minutes of the show anyways. So we'll start off with Royce, and this is the closing round.
Thank you. Okay. What's most important to me is all you folks out there that vote. knowing what you want, finding out from you what you want, and carrying that out in that office. Yes, absolutely, work along with whoever's in the office. Be helpful in any way I can. I could go into all kinds of stuff here. It's just not worth it. I think everybody around you wants to go home after this meeting tonight. So, I hand it over.
Thank you. I'll follow this lead, make this short. Thank you for coming and being a part of this tonight. I'd like very much to serve you as a selectman for the next 15 months. If you have any questions you'd like to ask me after the forum, I'll be around. I do have some flyers stuck in my car, unfortunately, but it has a little bit more detail about my background. And hope to see you on voting day. Thank you.
As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, without even being into office, last year, I proposed that recall ordinance. I have that recall ordinance petition here tonight. If any of you wish to read it over and look at it and sign it, I'll make that available to you. There's a lot of things going on. It's too numerous. We could stay here all night going over things. I myself look for the support of the people, no matter which way they go. You people are the governing factor. No matter who's in that office, you people are the governing factor. You gotta, think about your taxes. There's a lot at stake. And I wanted to take a moment and thank Harrison for putting this on, and I want to thank you people for being here. Because it shows me that there is care in this town. And I'll leave you with this. We can watch things happen. By electing me, we can make things happen. Thank you.
It is great seeing everybody here, and again, thank you for Harrison and all the work the selectmen have been doing by themselves for the last few months, dealing with all that they've been dealing with. But I am really happy to see that so many people showed up and more people are getting involved with the different committees and wanting to make improvements in our town. So I really understand that being a selectman is a lot of work, but I'm really ready for the challenge, and welcome you to all. If you have questions or concerns, I'm in the phone book. So I would like to really be your next selectman. So please vote for me, Karina Cole, on March 11th. Thank you very much. And just wanted to know, because so many people ask me, no relation at all to Jason Cole.
Thank you, Harrison. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I'm glad it's the second annual, or we're going to have another annual in June, I guess, or whatever. So it's, I don't know if it's not annual, but special. I don't have any agendas. I'm not a member of the Good Old Boys Club. I'm here to do your business, and that's it. Not to do my business, to do yours. In my job, it's important to know who the client is. You're the client. I work for you if I'm done. I don't work for me. I don't work for anybody else. I work for you guys. And it's you collectively. It's not individuals. It's you collectively as the people of town Lebanon. It's important to do that. I think I take this job very seriously. So I ask you for your vote. My name is Richard Barlow, in case you didn't get it the first time around. Thank you.
All right, thank you all for coming in. I I think that we have just a wonderful, wonderful group of people here that want to lead this town. I think they deserve a big round of applause. And that concludes this special edition of Selectman Candace Night. Thank you all very much for coming out. Don't forget to pick up the Lebanon Voice at local newsstands. It's only online.